said that has to be something. Let's go to my cousin, Waraq ibn Nawfal. This is knowledge. Someone with knowledge who can give us better vision into this, or better analysis to this. So, and he was someone like Quraysh, but this one he accepted Christianity. تنصر يعني, followed the Injil يعني. And he used to read Al-Kitab al-Ibrani. Ibrani is the original language of the Injil. So he used to write it before he loses his eyes, right? And, read in it and study. So that means he knows the science and everything. That's why when Rasulullah ﷺ came to him, he told him, tell me my nephew, Ibn Akhi. Whenever anybody older, he tells the other one, Ibn Akhi, tell me what happens to you. So he told him what happened. He said, Wallahi, this is the angel who came to Musa alayhi salam, same one. And this is the sign, and this is the time that the last prophet is coming. And I wish I'm alive and I'm young to support you when your people will kick you out of Mecca. I said, what? Why? And that's a lesson for us. It's easy to measure the future of what you have now, but you don't know who you're going to be in 5 years from now if you live. See, the way we think about things is, who am I now? Look at this incident here. And Rasul said, why? Our mukhrijiyahum, they will do that? He said, yes. He said, why? Based on what he's experiencing, my people are very nice to me. This is nothing wrong when I say, when you tell me something coming from heaven and all that. That actually will increase the respect in his mind, right? I'm truthful, I'm honest, I'm married to Khadija, I'm son of Abdullah, ibn Abdul Muttalib, Bani Hashim, Quraysh, everybody respect, Sadiq, Al-Amin. Even they fight with each other, but with me I'm okay. So what you saying? So measuring on what you have now, not necessarily, making accurate future predictions. Because you don't know who you're going to be, how people will look at you tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen in the morning. If you get sick, how people will see you. If you are disabled, how people will see you. If you die, how people will deal with your family. We don't know. So always leave it in the hand of Allah and do the right things. But future is in the hand of Allah Azza wa Jal. And all your friends can be your enemies tomorrow, and all your enemies can be your friends tomorrow. So the base is your deen. That doesn't change. That is the only constant that does not change. Everything else is a variable. Everything else can vary and change. So he told him, anybody comes with that message, he will have enemies for sure. So he gave him the answer. That means once you are a da'i or a preacher or someone, a role model, and telling people to change their wrong ways to right ways, you will have an avalanche of opposition. It's going to happen regardless. Attack on your person, attack on your reputation, your family, your privacy, your personality, your effect, your message, everything, you name it. But it is going to happen. And that's what we'll see that happened to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. From this seclusion, we take that people of leadership, sometimes they need some time to account and reevaluate their things as well. Not necessarily you have to go on a mountain, but you need to have some time for yourself. And that was an advice I get from many of my sheikhs, who told me that there has to be a time it is you, for you only. That time has to be divided to two things. One, your worship to Allah alone, and your reflection on what you do. You need to have that time, an hour a day, half hour a day, 2 hours a day, depending on whatever, right? But you have to have that time in a way that it is not long, so you destroy what you are building, and it is not short that you don't do what you are doing right. So it needs to be moderate, so it helps you to continue what you're doing, not short, so you don't function properly, and not long, so you destroy and lose what you did, right? So it has to be moderate there, because sometimes a alim, he secludes himself for 5-10 years, and in those 10 years, a generation came jahil, ignorant generation. So he benefited, yes, he understands hikmah and all of that, but when he come out, He comes out, there is a lot to build, new. Had he been there, that would not have been that bad. Okay, so this is what it is. Also, we learned that the first thing is reading. And as I said before, we get stuck on that one. The first word in Islam, اقرأ. In our school fundraising, اقرأ. When you give khutbah, اقرأ. اقرأ. After you اقرأ, what did you understand from what you read? You know, Islam tells us to read. The first word in Islam is read. طيب, خلاص, we got it. Right? But Islam also said, write. Islam said, do your homework. Islam said, understand what you do, act upon it, teaching it to others, pass it, adopt it, adapt to the things, see what benefit you, be relative to what is around you, see the need of the people, have ijtihad, improve, right? Islam tells us all of that. So don't get stuck on Iqra and stop there. Iqra is the beginning. That's what the beginning of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After that, there is da'wah. After da'wah, there is teaching, coaching, or training, and carrying the message, ruling the state. That's why Islam in 13 years, it is preparation of that generation of teachers, trainers, training the trainers, right? And then when they went to Medina, now establishing the state. And another level of training. So when the Rasulullah does his job, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everybody will carry that everywhere in the world. And it's still continuing until now. So that's what it means. All right. This wahi was not a light issue. It was a big issue by all means. It was a supernatural thing. It defies all laws of nature. All laws of nature. That's why when science actually, people, not science, but people who believe that everything has to be science, they fail on that level. The metaphysics, the things that you not tangible, but you have to believe in it. So there was someone, I think his name is Wahiduddin Khan from India or something like that, and he wrote a nice book about this, and he said that there are two types of science. There is the science of the material, and there is the science of the mind, right? Science of the mind is like psychology, and all of these kind of things, that it takes time until you establish a pattern. And one person can change that whole pattern, right? You can have psychology, theory, science, right? Because science, everything has to be proven by science, right? So the psychology is a science, yes? Yes. Biology is a science, but this one is in the lab, and this one, the subject is a human being, and a human being is ever changing, right? So you apply a theory, but then come people from the Amazon, the whole theory doesn't apply. Okay, so it is not like applicable for all human beings. So science of the mind like that. So there are many things relating to the mind that you do not see. And that's where ghaib comes. You have to believe in that as well. So this was supernatural by all means, physical and spiritual, tangible and intangible things that you can realize, and things beyond your comprehension, right? And also it was hard on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to accept this. As a human being, you are used to certain things, but then suddenly you get this kind of connection and this kind of experience that's beyond the that's beyond all thinking, and this is beyond the comprehension of any man. And that's what the Western Orientalists and all that, they did not understand this. They said it's seizure, it is a psychological state, it is some kind of possessed or something. But this is how they understand things, right? But they don't get that spiritual aspect of it. Now, also, it is important to know it was essential and daruri, necessary, that Jibreel alayhi salam comes to him separate, not some idea, because this will create doubt later on, right? Oh, I also get thoughts and ideas, so why your thoughts and ideas are better? There has to be someone outside. So he himself does not think that something happening internally. No, it has to be external. That also gives that perspective as well. Has to be external. Has to be someone, like if somebody say, are you sure? He said, yeah, he met me. This man met me and he gave me that bottle of water here, right? But if you are in a place that nobody's there, yeah, akhi, this is what you're just thinking, you know? No, this is that man. Like, he met. So this is more physical, and it was necessary at that stage. Later, wahi can come in that format, that he does not see him. Okay? He comes as ilham, or as inspiration. إن روح القدس نفث في روعي أنه لن تموت نفس حتى تستوفي رزقها. يعني he said that Jibril alayhi salam came and gave me the idea that nobody will die. It's not Quran, يعني nobody will die except after they complete the rizq. But he knows it is a wahi from Allah. He does not see, he does not hear, but this comes to him as a, if I may use the word in lack of term, يعني, like an instant download. Something happened that was not there before. It just happens like that. And it's so organized and logical that it does not come as a result of a thought process. Just boom, happened, a detailed thing which was not there before. This does not happen to any of us like this. There is a procedure, right? Even it happens in a second, but there is a process. You engage about something and then an idea comes. Now, so Allah Azza wa Jal, طبعا since Jibril alayhi salam, the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was scared of that. Also, later we will know the difference between Quran and the Hadith. Okay, so Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam telling us that wahi was something like really true. Why? Because he starts separating and saying, this is Quran, no, this is Sunnah. If someone just getting thoughts, why he has to categorize things? Why he has to categorize? Because that means this is a very advanced way of categorizing. He say, no, this is the word of God, and this is the ideas that God gave to me, but it's my words, right? So this one you record as Quran, and this one not as Quran. For someone who's just receiving random thoughts wouldn't do that kind of very accurate categorization. Also, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to be asked about certain things. He will not answer it until it comes to him. If someone who just wanted fame or make up things, he would just make up on the go. But he said, I don't know. But then maybe he said, he's silent, then he will reply. So you didn't know 5 minutes ago, now how did you know suddenly that very accurate answer? Or, did not just answer me, because it's against our dignity as well sometimes. Like if somebody asks you, you don't want to say, I don't know, right? You just give something, and maybe you edit it later. But for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, I don't have the answer now. But the answer comes to him later. And sometimes the answer comes opposite to what he thinks. And sometimes the wahi comes blaming him for something that he did. Like Abasa wa Tawalla and all that. And yet he says it. He could have hid it. Why? And why you have to say your criticism? Because it's not your words. It is Allah's words, and you have to have amana, right? You have to deliver that amana. Also, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam was illiterate. Someone was debating a few days ago on social media that how come you're accusing the best man in the world of everything that he was illiterate? It cannot happen like that. He said, why you have to assume, my answer, why you have to assume that being illiterate is a condescending thing? Why you have to assume that? Why you have to assume this? Being illiterate does not mean that you are not wise, you are not educated. And this is something new, being literate and schooled and knowing how to write the letters and put the words and read in a book. This is all new stuff. And he said, what do you mean? I said, very simple. I have many of my shuyukhs, they were blind. And they are like the big scholars. And all the PhD doctors and all that, they sit under their feet with the books, and they correct it from their memory, not the other way around. Yani. Like he's reading the book, the doctor, professor in the college, he reads the book, and the blind sheikh tell him, no, that's a typo. The word is such and such, because I heard it from this man, from this man, from this, until Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadith is like this, not like what you're reading here. So as an example, right? So being illiterate does not take away from you. Being not educated, not having information, not wise, that's a problem. Okay? What to do with the information that you have, that's a problem. Okay? Many of the shuyukh did not finish even elementary school. Sheikh al-Albani did not have elementary school. Sheikh al-Albani, the one who fixed the hadith, يعني all of this, Sheikh al-Albani, big one, there in school. Most of the Sahaba of Rasulullah was not literate, did not know how to read or write. So it's not like a bad issue, يعني. So with that said, now you know why Rasulullah was chosen to be illiterate. Right? الذين يتبعون النبي الأمية, the illiterate one, right? وما كنت تتلو من قبله من كتاب ولا تخطوه بيمينك إذا لارتاب المبطلون. يعني Allah says you did not read or write because this would have created doubt for those who wanted to put doubt. He said, oh, he read some books. So where are those books? He hid it, he burned it, but he read it. Okay? So now he doesn't know how to read, he doesn't know how to write. But he says all these things that only a person who knows how to read and write can come up with. So that's also a mu'jiza.